Hello everyone, this is Yusuf from Crafting Cloud CRM Solutions, and today I'm going to show you how you can build the entire Method CRM platform in 3 seconds. Yes, you heard that right. 3 seconds. I'm joking. No, but actually, I'm going to be showing you how you can build a custom app like a pro on Method CRM. And along the way, I'm going to be teaching you many best practices. So stay tuned. All right, so I'm logged into my Method account and I want to go ahead and build this social media influencers app. But before I do that, I want to explain exactly what it is that I'm building. So I want to be able to build a way for me to track my potential deals with the brands that I'm working with or the potential fellow social media influencers I'm going to be working with as well. So in order for me to do that, I need to have an app to track the life cycle and where exactly I am at in my deal of potentially closing and getting that extra business. So let's go ahead and let's begin. So I'm in the dashboard. Let me go ahead and click this add/remove apps tile that you see here. And you're gonna see the very first option is create custom app. Let's click that. And it's gonna ask you a few things. So it's gonna first ask for an icon for your app. So you'll see there's a bunch of icons that they give you. The one that I'm gonna actually choose is one that kind of symbolizes exactly the purpose of the app, which is realizing potential dollars coming into my business. So I think the one that I like the most is this, the sales pipeline icon. Now, the name of my app, I'm going to call it Potential Deals. And now it's asking for a starting screen. So this is the screen that you're going to first land on when you click on your app from the dashboard. So I'm going to call this the Potential Deals list. Now, the base table I'm going to use, I'm not going to create a custom table today, just because there is an app already out there offered that provides similar functionality, but it's a little, it has a lot of stuff, and I want something truly custom that will serve my needs, and it's going to look the way I want it to look. So the table that I'm going to use is opportunity. Let me click this create button, and there we have it. Now we've created our app. I'm going to go back to our dashboard, and you're going to notice the potential deals app is right here. Let me just go ahead and quickly move it to the top. And if I click into this potential deals app, all you see is a white screen. The reason why is because you need to tell Method exactly what the screen's going to look like and what it should be doing. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to click the down chevron arrow beside potential deals, and I'm going to click customize screen. Now, this took us into something called a screen designer. Now, this is very, very powerful because what it basically does is it allows you to take an empty canvas, take your paintbrush, and paint the screen to whatever you feel makes sense to you and is truly custom to your needs. Now, because I wanted it to be a list of my potential deals, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a list to the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add a section, and you'll notice there's a bunch of elements here on the right. And these are basically elements that will help make up the creation of your screen. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag the grid to this section. Now on this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add columns to my grid by clicking this down arrow. And the very first option you're going to see is columns. Now from here, don't worry about the record ID. You can ignore that. It's just a unique identifier that doesn't show up. And I'm going to add columns to my grid that I want to be able to see for each one of my deals. I think what I want to be able to do is the very first thing I would want to add is the name of the deal. Okay. Then I would probably want to add also the contact that I'm dealing with. Okay. Then I want to add the amount of the deal, the stage, and I'm going to just keep choosing columns that I feel like are suitable for what I need. So I'm just going to be quiet now and just keep doing this. All right. So I think these are all the columns that I have in my that I can think of right now. Now you can always come back to this and adjust the columns as you keep, using the app. You're going to definitely make some refinements along the way. But for now, I think this is good. Now what I want to do is I actually want to rearrange my columns. So name definitely should be the first column that I would want to see. Then the contact, so the person I'm dealing with, the stage that that deal is in, the potential close date. And let me actually change that to potential close date. Okay. The amount. And let me actually put the type of the opportunity because there are different types of deals that I'm going to be dealing with, and I want to be able to categorize them. Now, what I'm doing is I'm going into each one of these columns and I'm just cleaning up the caption here. So you can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to remove the opportunity piece and just leave it as stage. Potential close date, we already have that. So I think we're good. Now, another thing I want to do is I want to add some formatting to some of these columns. So you'll notice this close date field. I want to be able to add a particular format that's cleaner. So I'm going to choose short date as my format. For amount, I'm just going to add number as my format, and I'm going to add a separator. And let's round to 2 decimal places. All right, that's it. Let's go and click close. Now, another good thing that you can do here, just to kind of speed up the process while you're building the app, is you're probably going to want to be able to see what you're doing as you go along. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into my browser, and any browser has this really. You're going to right click the tab and you're going to click duplicate. And then I'm going to just close this screen designer. And here we have it. So you'll see we have our grid right here showing of and our list of potential deals. Now you'll see I have an example one of Lululemon. I wish that'd be amazing if I had a collaboration with Lululemon. But for right now, I'm going to stay in my dreams. So for this, you'll notice that it looks for the most part okay, but there's contacts one shows a number. So I want to change that. So let's go back. Let's click the columns option. And for contacts, what I actually want instead of contacts is contact's name. So I'm going to choose contact's name here. I'm going to bring it up here. And let me actually just rename this to contact. And let me just remove this. Close. Now, if I go back into my other tab and I hit refresh, there we have it. We have a test contact right there. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to be able to add navigational buttons here because we also want to be able to not only view the record from the screen and actually navigate to it, but we also want to create a new deal. So let's go back. In my first section here, I'm actually going to rename this to section nav. Okay. And for here, I'm actually going to rename this to section list. Okay. And for the grid, I'm going to rename the grid to potential deals. And I'm going to add 2 columns here. And I'm going to go back into my elements menu right here. And I'm going to actually just drag and drop a text label. And I'm going to label this back. Okay. I'm going to click the down chevron and click. And in here, you'll notice something brand new pops up, which is the action editor. This is the core of method, and this is where all the magic really happens. Is you're able to tell method without any code, just through simple point and click, exactly what you want it to do. So what we're going to do here is, because we want to create a back button, I just want to be able to tell method that when I click this button, I want to go back. So I'm going to add an action from the action editor here, and I'm going to click this go to screen action, and I'm going to click back as the browser history. That's it. And then I'm just going to add notes here just because it's best practice. All right. And there we have it. Now we have a back button set up. Another thing I want to do is I want to just close this and I want to test this out now. Oh, I'm missing a chevron. So let me go back. You'll notice it just says back here. I actually want to add a chevron here because it doesn't look nice with just the word back. So let me click customize. And I don't know why I closed my other tab. Let me reopen that again. Hit close here. All right, let me add icon. All right, hit save. And there we have it. We have our back button. Let's go ahead and test it. And there we go. We're able to go back to our dashboard. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to create a screen where I'm actually capturing and creating a new potential deal. So let's go ahead and do that. If I hit this ellipses icon and I hit manage, all right, you'll notice you enter into the screens area. This is where you're going to build multiple screens or pages within your app. So let's go ahead and create that second screen by clicking the create screen button. Yes, the base table is opportunity. And we're going to call this new/edit potential deal. Let's hit create. Now we're back into our screen editor. So now we're starting from scratch and we're going to basically go ahead and create another screen for tracking and entering a new potential deal. So let me go ahead and add a couple sections here. I'm just going to name this section main or section header, not main, header. And name this section main, section footer, and I'm going to add a hidden section as well. And I'll tell you why once we get to it. All right. For our section header, let's go ahead and add a title to this. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add a text label. And in the text label, I'm going to say potential deal. All right. Now for this one, I'm also going to show an icon, and it's going to be the same icon as I chose for the app. Now for here, I want to put the font type as title. Now here you can actually play around with the cell alignment. So you'll see here that if I go and I actually just hit save here, just to show you what I'm doing, I'm going to close this tab and I'm going to duplicate this. Let me close this right here. Okay. And I want to be able to access this screen now. So before I can show you the cell alignment, I actually need to go just to see the screen on the front end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into our potential deals list. I'm going to customize it. And now I'm going to add a button to connect the deals list page to my new my potential deal page that I just created. Okay. So I'm going to click new potential. I'm going to create a text label, new potential deal. I'm going to move this to the right. I'm going to add an icon here. Add a plus icon. Okay. And I'm going to go back into our action editor here, and I'm going to say go to screen. And I'm going to choose the app that we're currently building. And the screen for the app that we just made was the new edit potential deal. And we're not going to set the active record ID. What this basically means is you're telling it to go to a particular record that's already saved. For this example, we're creating a brand new record, which means it will not have a record ID associated to it. So in that case, we're always going to clear screen. Okay. Now I'm just going to type in my notes, go to new edit potential deal. Let me hit close. And let me hit close. Let me go back into the potential deals. And you'll see the new potential deal button is there, but it's kind of crammed. So let's go ahead and play with the padding around this. So you'll see here with each section, and this is any element on the screen, you're always going to see the padding options here for every single element on the screen. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add more padding to the top and bottom of each section. Now, if I hit save and close, look at that. That looks much cleaner now. If I go and I click new potential deal, we're in our new screen. And now we can actually see what we're building. So let me go ahead and duplicate this. And let me go back into the screen designer for this new screen that we're building. And what I want to do is I actually want to change the size of the icon that we're in. And actually, instead of doing a show icon, I'm going to add a separate icon element. So let me go ahead. Here's the icon element. Put that here. And I'm going to add my icon for this to be the same as what we put for the app, which is called Sales Pipeline. And I'm going to change this size to 4 times large. And now the cell alignment, this is what I want to show you. So look, if I go back now and I hit refresh, see how the alignment's kind of off? So we want to be able to adjust this. So I want to add padding in between the icon and potential deal and make sure the potential deal is aligned with this icon. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to actually add, I'm going to move this here. I'm going to collapse this column as small as possible. I'm going to click this left cell alignment arrow so it's closer to the icon. Okay. And now I'm going to add padding as well, just because we want it to have a little bit of space. Now, if I hit refresh screen, there we are. Much better. Okay. Let me go ahead and add a back button. All right. Now that I added a back button, I also want to add a border to my header. So if I go here, okay, so we've added our back button, but I still want to add a border just to separate the header from the rest of the screen. So let me go and click this section of where my header is. Let me scroll down and you'll notice that there's this top border, bottom border, left, right. We're going to do bottom. We're going to choose it to 1 pixel. And we're going to say that it is going to be navigation color. And this border style, they have dotted, dashed. We're just going to do solid here. Hit save. If I refresh this, there we are. So that's how you can create a header for your screen. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to be able to add the fields to my screen. Okay. So let's go ahead and go back into our screen designer. Now we're entering the section main, and this is where our fields are going to sit. And I'm actually going to add 2 columns here because I'm envisioning we're going to have 2 columns in our section with fields on the left and the right. Let's go ahead and let's add sections within each one of these columns. Do section left, right. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is I want to add my fields to these. Okay. Now you'll see I added already a bunch of rows to my section. So you can always add, remove, you can add more columns within a section. You can have a section within a section within a, we don't need to do that. We just need to add some rows so we can add our field within each rows. So now instead of going to the objects here, we're actually going to go into our field section right here. The reason why I'm not choosing an object here, instead I'm choosing a field, is because these fields, when I add information into it, I want it to be stored. I want it to be saved automatically. When I click a save button, it should automatically save whatever I entered on the screen to the table in the back end. If I were to add a control, so if I just added a text input and I typed in something and I click save, the system doesn't know that it belongs to or which field it should be going to. So you would have to tell it which field you want to go to. And in this case, that's just an extra step that we don't need to do because we already have the fields available for us. We don't need to tell it anything. It already knows what field it is. So let's remove this text input control. And let's go back. And I'm going to add now, first thing I'm going to add is the name. So we're going to have the name. All right. And that's the name of our deal. I want to add also the contacts. I'm just going to add, I'm going to change this instead of contacts, contact. All right. And then I want to be able to add a few other fields. So the other fields that I want to add is stage. And for the stage, I actually want to put this on the right. Okay. So I'm going to change this and I'll put the stage on the right. And I'm actually going to move this down and I'm going to also add type. Because there's many different types of deals that I could be working with. So I want to be able to also specify the type. I also want to add basically, I want to be able to add some other fields here. So let me just take a look at what else we have. So as you can see, it's very easy. You can just drag and drop as many fields as you'd like, and it's going to automatically appear on the screen. It's that simple. So we also need our amount, that's for sure. So let me go ahead and put the amount also on the right side. And maybe the lead source. Yeah, we definitely need the lead source. So let me put the source of where we got this deal. Maybe the brand reached out to us. Maybe we didn't reach out to them. We want to be able to track that. All right. And lastly, what I think, I'm almost done. I think what I also want to add is simply just a description. So I'm just going to add a description. And for the description, because it's a field that we might put a lot of information in, I want to change the number of input lines I want to put in here. So let me put the input lines to 5. And let me go ahead and hit save. All right, let's refresh and let's take a look at what this looks like. All right, so you'll see our fields are here, and we want to be able to just organize this a little bit better to make this look cleaner. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add additional padding around these fields that we just added. So let's go back. So right here, I want to add top, bottom, do top, bottom. If I hit save, hit refresh here, much better. That looks cleaner. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I just want to add a footer to this. So in order for us to add a footer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add padding around the footer, and I'm going to change the border to 1 pixel. I'm going to apply a top border to it. Solid. And then I'm going to add button. Now the button I'm going to add is called save and back button. Although we added the fields, we need a way for us to save these fields so Method knows to take these fields now and store it into the opportunities table that we base this app on. So I'm going to go into the action editor for this button, and I'm just going to type save all. There we go. Now you'll notice this validate all screen controls prior to saving. This is a handy option in case you want extra validations that you want to put on your screen. It'll automatically check those validations that you've put in order for it to save first. If any of those validations fail, it's not going to save. All right. Let me go ahead and say save potential deal. Close. All right. And now I want to add a color to this. I'm going to put the color as primary. Let me hit save. Look at that. Our screen is starting to come together. That's nice. If you enjoyed part 1 of this YouTube series on how to build a custom map in Method CRM, I would appreciate a like and subscribe down below. What we're going to do is we're going to continue on to part 2 on how to build a custom map in Method CRM by showing you how you can manage your drop-down values from the front end without having to go behind the scenes and add the values into your drop-downs. I can show you a way to do this from the front end very easily. Click part 2 here.